Hello, everyone.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so nice to see all of you this afternoon. We are Creative Family Connections. We are an agency and also we are lawyers. So we like to say you get the best of both of us. I'm Diane Hinson. I founded the agency 23 years ago now at this point. So I'm the owner, founder, and CEO. I have with me Nika Carlson, who is our parent coordinator, which means she will be with you if you decide to work with us throughout the matching period. She'll let you know what's happening as you're waiting. And Nika also has a really unique perspective because, turn to the side, Nika. Nika is pregnant. She is on her second surrogacy journey for 2 dads. So I know people love, yes.
Thank you.
I know people love to hear the surrogate's perspective. So what we're going to do today is just talk. We're happy to be interrupted at any time with questions. This is just a dialogue. We're going to tell you about us, but also we want to give you some tips about things that you might ask agencies as you're considering agencies. I know I've talked to some of you up at our table, and it's a little overwhelming with all these agencies. And so there's questions that you can ask agencies as you're trying to figure out differences among agencies. And so, yeah.
And that's a really good point, Dee, because we're all trying to get you to the same place. We all have the same goal. It's just every agency does things a little bit different. And what you want to really see is, talking to all the different agencies, which process really just resonates with you that you feel most comfortable with to move forward.
That's a really excellent point, exactly. So, as I say, one of the things that differentiates us is we give you all the agency support. We're very high touch, very high vetting. We take 2% of the surrogate candidates who apply, and we'll talk a little bit about our vetting process and how much we do before we accept a candidate. And then when we match you, any agency you talk to is going to say, we give support. But what you want to do is drill down and figure out, well, what does that mean? Because you want to have support for you. You want your surrogate to have support. So one way you can do that is to kind of figure out, okay, what's the caseload of, we call them journey coordinators. Somewhere a few years ago we decided that kind of sounded more current. I don't know. Some people call them case managers. Whatever it is, they're the same thing. But the point is that there's a big difference depending on how big the caseload is. So we cap our journey coordinators at 16 actively matched cases through delivery. But we know, because we get calls from journey coordinators, case managers at other agencies who are looking for jobs, and they say, do you have any openings? I just feel like I'm not really doing a good job because I have 40-something cases. So think about it. If you're parents, that's
40 surrogates, possibly 80 intended parents. That's 120 people that they're possibly managing and juggling at any given time. And what level of support is that if every, one of their case managers has that many people?
Right.
And working with CFC, I've been very fortunate that I have kind of done a few different roles within the company. I've been a journey coordinator. Could I journey coordinate my own surrogacy? Yeah, I could. But would I? Never. Because there are so many little things that you have to keep track of, so many T's to cross, I's to dot. So the minutia of a journey is so much that while I could do it, it's just really nice that I have somebody there for me and for my intended parents, so nothing gets missed, and we just have to sit back and focus on having a really healthy, happy pregnancy and not stressing about the little things.
Yeah. And our goal is to make your journey as happy as possible, as stress-free as possible, and also legal and ethical. And you've probably heard a little bit in some of your sessions about ethics, right? So because we're attorney, ethics is a huge part of how we do our work and our business and our mission. And everybody on our team, we have 16 team members besides me, we keep subject to all of our ethics requirements that our lawyers are required to do, right? So you get the attorney-client privilege. That means everything you tell us, because you're our client, is confidential. So whatever you tell us, it stays with us. And we make it very clear when you sign on with us that you are the client, our legal client. We're going to facilitate the surrogate's journey, but she will have her own legal counsel. So when we do the legal agreement, she will have her own lawyer. That's part of the fees that you'll pay. We will make sure if she needs a referral, she gets a referral. We don't want her to have to go find a lawyer and have a real estate lawyer. We want her to have a really great surrogacy lawyer. But the surrogates actually like the fact that we're lawyers because they all know some surrogate somewhere who their agency didn't get it right. And so the surrogate was on the birth certificate, and when the surrobaby became a child and went to preschool, they had to sign some paperwork so that the dads could register the child to go to preschool. And the surrogates want to change your life. That's why they are doing it, at least ours. This is why they're doing it. They love being pregnant. They're trying to pay, they want to pay it forward, but they do not want to be parents. As they say to me, you mean I could be pregnant and not have any diapers at the end? Oh my God, that's amazing.
I promise you, we don't want your baby. We don't want your baby. My
Right.
kids are 19 and 13, and the idea of a newborn is a nightmare for me. That's your job. You get up in the middle of the night. You change diapers, not me. So we have finished our families, most of us, when we have done this, and we know the joy of having our families, and we do it so that you guys can experience the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, the favorite moment is when they see you have the baby and have that skin-to-skin contact, and yeah. So, and so they want us to get the legal part right, to have you have the court order that names you as the sole legal parents, and to have you on the birth certificate, and that's what the surrogate wants, that's what you want as the parents, and so everybody has that same end goal. We want the baby to be healthy, so we're going to put protections in your legal agreement that, talk about if she gets pregnant with twins, she has to see a high-risk doctor because otherwise she'll go to her OB and she'll say, do you carry twins? And the doctor will say, of course I do, but they don't do the extra tests that a high-risk doctor does, so we'll do that. When somebody asked me this morning, when does legal get involved? Because if you have to get legal from outside, that's the question. So we are involved right from the beginning. The matching team meets several times a week, but legal meets, we actually do it on Mondays because we get so many applications over the weekend. And so when we're ready and we have ready to send records to the clinic, we are going to send it for a specific set of parents. And so then at that point, we're talking who's the perfect match. And part of it is legal. There's no national surrogacy law, so we're looking at the state and we want to make sure it's a really good fit and that it works whether you're a single dad or a couple, and we want to make sure that works. And if you live in some states, the other state will let you use your home state for us to do it, but we also are going to make sure that the hospital, that some hospitals that their registrar won't recognize that because that's how much we do this. We're going to make sure that everything goes really smoothly. So we're going to do that. If you want to have the discretion to terminate, which most of our parents do, we're not going to match you in the state of Texas because Texas is the only state where they threaten to make everybody criminal if the surrogate goes out of state to terminate a pregnancy for a congenital defect. And we don't want anybody, you, the doctors, us, subject to criminal prosecution. So we're going to think about all these things that, are just not something you think about so that we can take care of that. But let me turn it now over to Mika because she can also give the perspective of a surrogate. And as I say, interrupt at any time with questions. And so, yeah.
So Diane was talking about matching and how legal is always going to come first, and we're never going to match you in a state where you can't obtain legal parentage of your child, and that is obviously the most important thing. But just below it, just as important, and this is where we really get to know you guys, we get to know your surrogate, is personality and preference matching, because you could have a legal match that works, but if you guys aren't on the same page about what you're looking for in a surrogacy, what you want communication to look like Diane said about termination issues, you guys aren't going to have a good journey if you're not on the same page. So while you're waiting for your surrogate, we get to know you guys. We ask you a lot of questions. We determine what you're looking for, not just in terms of where she lives and if she's COVID vaccinated. We ask you all of those important questions too. But we also ask you, like, what do you envision? When you envision a journey, when you envision having a surrogate, how often do you guys want to talk? How often are you guys going to text each other? What kind of relationship do you want to have? Is this a little bit more professional where, like, yes, I want her to check in, but like we're not going to breathe down her throat. We know she has a life. We have a life. We're busy. You're busy. Or do you want to be really involved? Do you want to be friends? Do you want to text each other all the time? My intended parents, we're really close, and I'm so thankful for that, because they're just as excited about this process as I am. And wasn't that what I said to you? Like, I need somebody who's just as excited about this process as I am.
Yes.
And I have been sending my intended parents bump pictures since 4 weeks pregnant. And I will tell you, I was just sending them selfies. You couldn't even tell. You don't look pregnant when you're 4 weeks pregnant, but they got a kick out of it, because I would send them the little, your baby's the size of a poppy seed this week. And I do it every single week on Thursdays, because that's when our time rolls over. And they love that. Some people, maybe that would annoy them, and that's okay. Like, that's not for everybody, but that's why we take the time to say, what are you looking for? Whatever is not a right answer, whatever they want, that's not the answer we're looking for. We appreciate that and the openness, but like, when you're thinking about it, what do you picture in your mind?
Right.
And that's really, really important, because it means, one, that you guys are going to have a beautiful journey together and everyone's just going to be really happy about it. But this also, if you're looking for a second journey, that means that if you guys get along and you love each other, whatever your relationship looks like, and it's perfect for both of you, you guys are going to be turning around as soon as she's out of delivery and saying, let's do that again.
And by the way, we give you a big discount. We
Yes.
give a 55% discount on our fees if the surrogate wants to do it again with you. So we ask her, would you be willing to do a surrogate journey for a sibling? And that's one of the preferences you can specify. So-
Yes, if you tell us in advance, like, hey, we might want to do this one more time, we know that, and we won't match you to someone who's had too many C-sections or too many pregnancies. We can't ever guarantee that she can go forward again, because obviously medical things can come up, but we will match you to somebody who, at the time of matching you, has the mindset of, like, yes, I would totally do this more than
Right.
once.
And you'll always get a returning client discount. So yeah.
But I do feel that it's a real testament to us in our process when people, have that delivery and they say, that was a great experience, let's do it again.
Yes, and also I do the post-delivery calls. Actually, I do Zooms because I love to see the babies, and to get feedback, because we can always improve our process, and I want to get that feedback from our parents. And often, before I can even start to ask my questions, the parents will interrupt me and say, 63% of our clients right now are gay dads, and they'll say, wait, I just have to tell you before you start. Our surrogate was an angel, that was one quote, or our surrogate was the best possible match. And that is music to my ears, because that means the matching team got it right, and it means that your journey was amazing if you had that really great match, because if you got along with her and if you had the right kind of communication, that means, that's a really key part of it.
Yeah.
And so,
and even if you have
take
something
the
go
time.
wrong in a pregnancy, because obviously
Can't
this is not an
control.
exact science, and things can happen. If you're close to your surrogate and you guys have that trust relationship, you will feel so much better knowing that if something is happening, that she has your best interest at heart, she has your baby's best interest at heart, and you feel comfortable with her. And that's the whole thing. Like, this is an exercise in trust.
Yeah.
This is a hard thing to give up control and say, this person who lives states away is going to carry my baby. That's difficult, and we understand and respect that. So that's why our vetting process is so intricate and so detailed, because we want to do every single thing we can. We want to do all the background checks, the financial checks, the home checks, the reference checks, to make sure that she is in the right mindset and is able and willing and capable of carrying your baby.
There's really a lot of trust in the surrogacy journey in general. It is a journey, our French clients call it a, what do they call it? I can't even think of the word right now, but it's a journey. And so, but it's trust. And so what you're doing now is you're looking for a surrogacy agency that you feel you can put your trust in to find you a surrogate that you're going to be able to trust. And you're looking for a medical clinic, an IVF clinic that you feel is going to, you can trust, and you can, back that up with looking for success rates. You can look online at SART.org and make sure that their statistics back that up. Our success rate in terms of finding a surrogate for our parents is 100%, that we have always been able to find a surrogate. And if someone doesn't, in a rare situation, make it through the medical process, she'll have already made it through the psychological process before we even present it to her. But if she doesn't make it through the medical process, then it's on us. We need to find you another all on our dime. Even if she goes through the medical process a few times and doesn't, and then the doctor says, her lining's not getting thick, I'm going to disqualify her. We have a gestational carrier guarantee program. That's something you should ask agencies, like what happens, because some agencies, you have to start all over and pay them another fee. I just talked to somebody where that happened. I was like, seriously? You had to pay them again? So what we do is everybody is a member of our guarantee program. You don't have to pay extra for it. Some agencies you do. So if that happens to you, your rematch fee is $0. Your new surrogate's going to need a contract, and so on our fee schedule that we give you, we do it all at a discount, and we tell you exactly what that would be. So you want to find that out before you start, because you can have somebody who's been a repeat surrogate, but because she's been through a pregnancy, her lining just doesn't work this time, and so you need to find out what if she's in that small percentage where it doesn't work. So, as an attorney, I always think about worst case scenarios, and you want to just think about that yourself, because this is a big undertaking. Back to you.
Yeah, so it's absolutely right. There's no guarantees in this process. So it's a matter of working with someone who knows how to handle when the worst case scenario happens, and being with an agency and law firm that if, God forbid, the worst does happen, you come to us, we help you navigate it so that it takes the stress off of it. And it makes a really big difference to everybody, I think, involved, knowing that you have that backing, you have that backup, those people that are in your corner that are there to help you. Makes a really big difference. Like, I know that I am supported through this whole process. I have a whole team behind me, not just my intended parents, but a whole team of people that are looking out for me and my best interest, and have the best interest of this baby at heart too. And it makes such a difference. I can't even imagine trying to navigate something like this without CFC.
Yeah, people with experience, people who aren't just new at the game and all that. So we're upstairs. If you want to find out more, you can come to our table. When you have time to decompress, you can come back and do a prospective client meeting and all that.
You can also sign up for a consultation using the QR code in your program, and do visit their expo room, the expo table, and chat about it and ask any questions that you want for a private discussion.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And good luck on your journey. Such an exciting moment.